San Antonio Spurs fans, we're going to do something a little bit different today.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. So I saw this article by Air Alamo ranking the San Antonio Spurs top 7 trade assets for this coming season. And instead of the reading article, I thought I'd do kind of a live reaction with you guys on who these top 7 assets are. Now, spoiler alert, I did see number 5. I know who that is because when I clicked on the link from Google, that's where it brought me, but I did not look at anything else. So this would be kind of a live, hey, there's an asset. Do we agree it's one of our top assets? Do we agree it is tradable? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that TSR Sports channel and subscribe for more Spurs content. Let's get into the article. By the way, yesterday I took the day off. Beautiful weather here in New England. So bike ride, comic show, UFC, just, having a day off was wonderful. I'll start getting the music videos up soon that I was talking about recently as well. Anyway, despite only starting to rebuild a few seasons ago, the San Antonio Spurs have quietly amassed an impressive amount of assets. True story. Their next franchise player is going to be Victor Wembanyama, hopefully. And after aggressively stockpiling draft picks in the pursuit of an elusive superstar, they suddenly have more picks than you know what to do with. In fact, they could have 3 first-round selections next year and 3 more the year after. We have way more picks than we can pick. Yeah, I said that right. With so many assets at the Spurs' disposal, several of them stand out, but which one is most valuable? Let's get into this now, Spurs fans, and I'll put a link to the whole article if you want to read it piece by piece in the comments. In the comments below. So our top seventh asset is the Chicago Bulls protected 2025 first round pick. That was part of the DeMar DeRozan trade. I believe that is that top 6 protected? Top 10 protected? Did it say? Top 10 protected. Okay. I could see that being as a valuable asset. Would certainly be willing to trade it away if it can get us another lottery pick, a top 5 pick in this year's draft. So I do agree that's a pretty good asset. So, yeah, I like that one. The Bulls are, I think, going to slowly be heading in the wrong direction sooner than later. So that's a good pick. Definitely tradable. All right, let's get to number 6. Another draft pick. Toronto's top 6. This is the top 6 protected. This is the top 6 protected pick for 2024. That's next year from the Jakob Poeltl trade. And I would certainly be fine with the Spurs moving on from this as well if it can help us in this year's draft. This year's draft that we've all talked about is so deep in players. We can get another asset from this year's draft and just start building around Wemby as soon as possible. Then I'm all in on trading this pick. Now, number 5, I already saw. This is the one I'll be transparent about. Come on now. There's no way the Spurs are already going to trade Jeremy, you don't mess with the Sohan. I don't see any universe where that happens. If they did, I just don't even feel that would be Spursy. I know we've traded players before for various reasons. We talked about it. There was different reasons why Derek was traded. There was a whole lot of reasons why DeJounte was traded, etc. But to draft a guy and then trade him the next year, a guy that showed so much potential, seems to blend well with the team and get along. No. Let me ask you, Spurs fans. If you could trade Jeremy Sohan, and one of those random picks we've talked about already for the 2nd overall pick with Charlotte, would you do it? Would you do it? Scoot Henderson for Jeremy Sohan essentially be the trade. Are you on board? Or keeping the you don't mess with this Sohan? Let me know in the comments below. I don't see the Spurs trading him. I also don't see Charlotte accepting that trade. We've talked about this. He hasn't been extended on his contract yet, which you talk about here in the article. I fully expect him to get extended. You guys have made a good point. The knee injury last year was probably nursed a little more than it needed to be. Maybe a little more Spursy load management than there needed to be. So hopefully he's going to be fine this year. I don't think Devin Vassell is going to be traded. Stranger things has happened, though. I noticed Keldon Johnson hasn't been mentioned yet, and he's on the picture, so I got to think Keldon, you think Keldon's number 1? Before we move on, Devin's what, number 4? We got 3 more. What do you think, Keldon? Do you think Keldon's our number 1 trade asset? No. Okay. Well, that's not what I expected. He's right there. So it must be a pick from us. I'm guessing a San Antonio Spurs pick. Keldon Johnson's right there. He's been in the midst of trade rumors. I've seen him going to almost every team in the NBA outside of the Spurs, of course, getting traded. Well, lottery teams, if you will. I don't think to trade him. Just signed an extension. We've talked about he's on a very team-friendly extension where his contract actually, it goes down each year. Seems to really get along with the team, part of the community, a leader. And yeah, I don't think he thrived as the number one guy last year. He had games where he did, but overall the year was, for me, it was a slight disappointment with his efficiency dropping so much. That being said, I still think he's going to be an excellent number 2, 3 option in the offense. And if he's number 3 option and he can still drop 20 points per game, the Spurs are going to be doing pretty good. Don't think he gets traded. Atlanta. Okay. This is true. See, these Atlanta picks are a little weird for me, Spurs fans, because I feel like Atlanta might be heading in the wrong direction sooner than later. So those picks might be lottery picks by the time they convey. So, wow. What are they talking about here? I was admittedly irritated when the Spurs traded DeJounte Murray, mostly because I wasn't a fan of the return. Nearly a year later, the trade looks completely different. Yes, I actually did a video about the Spurs Atlanta trade. Maybe the Spurs kind of fleeced the Hawks. They didn't, of course. The Hawks weren't substantially better with Murray. No, they were not. And Trae Young appears to have worn on the franchise. So if Trae Young heads out and then Murray follows out, they're going to be a lottery team. So I guess we could look at it one of two ways, Spurs fans. That's great for us to have those future picks in the future. Or does that give the trade value on these picks much more gravitage? Interesting. I thought the Atlanta picks would be on here. I didn't think it would be this high, but I can see if you're an NBA executive, you're looking at Atlanta, and if Atlanta does discombobulate, those are going to be very valuable picks. I don't know if I'd be up for trading them unless we're talking about a high pick in this year's draft as in a top 5 pick, then I'd certainly be willing to part with one of those. Okay, I agree with this. Atlanta's first round pick. What the heck is number 1? They better not put this year's pick. Because they already talked about Victor Wembanyama being the franchise player at the start of the article. There is no way, shape, and form they're putting the Spurs' first-round pick from this year, are they? All right. What do you got for me, Air Alamo Wio? Really? I understand he's a top trade asset, but I'm not even going to address this anymore. I'm done. All right, let's see what they say. Though it's not official yet, yeah, they're probably drafting him. All right, so give it a great draft process, blah, 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 blah. Spurs, of course, hope to help him out for the entire of his career. Of course, the contract can keep going, blah, 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 blah. What's their point here? 4 years and then trade him? 8 years and trade him? Trade him now? I'm stupefied. I'm stupefied that he's number 1. I'm a little off for word. I'm sorry, Spurs fans. Usually I got stuff to say. I don't even know what to say to that. I really don't. I'm just dumbfounded. I mean, you've been looking for a franchise player. This is the 3rd time in the history of the team that you've had the number 1 pick overall. And the last 2 times you took a big man, David Robinson and Tim Duncan, worked out pretty darn good with both those guys. Now you have a generational type of player, and I don't know, because they're saying 2023-24, which means we draft him and then trade him. And the article's not really telling me anything here that am I missing something? You're making around $10 million for the next 4 seasons. It could become one of the best value contracts in the NBA. Yes, I get that, but your article is talking about our trade assets for 2023-24. That's what it says right on top here. You can't quite see it. I'll move it here. Ranking the San Antonio Spurs top 7 trade assets for 2023-24. So draft Victor. Based on that, it sounds like draft Victor and then trade him. That's not happening. Wow, I've never had a video where I guess this is what happens when you do a live reaction is you don't know what to say to your audience. And in this case, I'm just mind blown. I do agree with a lot of these. And while I wouldn't even list Victor Wembanyama because he's untradeable. There's no way you're drafting a guy like this and then, well, you know what? Let's just roll the dice again next year and let's just get more picks for him because, goodness, we only have 1 million picks over the next few years. Let's get 1 billion more. That ain't happening. That's all I got. Let me know what you think about this. I'm sorry if I was lost of words. It's not what I expected. But I hope you're all having a great weekend. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, earphone users beware. Go Spurs, go!
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.